Thank you so much for joining us here at Hello Radio Philippines. Now, my name is Kay, and what I'd like to do right now is for us to quickly talk about the current developments that Manila is experiencing right now under the administration of Mayor Isko Moreno, our newly elected mayor of the city of Manila. Now, I want to go back to I want to have a step back and talk about the what happened before, and then followed by what's currently happening right now, and definitely what can we expect in the near future. Now, let's start with the very first thing. What happened before? Before, Manila, as we considered as our capital city here in the Philippines, is a very beautiful city, a very powerful city, on its glorious days, way back then when it was managed properly. And that's the very reason why that there could be a lot of potential cities that we can point out as the city, I mean the capital city of the Philippines, but we did not look at them. We looked at Manila. Okay, in other words, Manila is rich in terms of history. Manila has a lot of assets. Manila is a good, I mean, it has a lot of potential to become a great capital of a country, the Philippines. Now, what happened before? There were a lot of attempts to uplift the name or the title capital for the city of Manila, but none of those, say, previous mayors who run the city actually became successful. They did their best, as how we, I mean, as we assume, but none of them were able to eradicate all of these things that crippled the city to become iconic. When you look at other cities, just in Asia, we talk about Tokyo, we talk about Singapore, we talk about, say, Seoul. All of these prime cities, they do have one thing in common. They are iconic. When you think about them, you think about something. You're thinking about happy thoughts. You think about of, say, really good stuff, okay, that each of these city can definitely offer to, say, visitors, or most especially the citizen of that particular city. Now, when we talk about Manila, it has a different effect, though. It has a different impact. We talk about corruption, we talk about crime, we talk about traffic. All of these things are all of these names are now synonymous to the name Manila. And that is why a lot of people are trying to get rid of Manila. A lot of vloggers in YouTube, okay, not that we have to mind them, of course, but most of them are really trying to get rid of Manila. And what they opt to of doing is that they go to the different islands that we have here in the Philippines. And that's really sad to hear. When you go to a country, the very first thing that you like to go right away is the capital city, because you like to explore, you like to get to know, the culture, etc., etc. But others, especially foreigners, are trying to get rid of Manila. Now, this has been a reality since time immemorial, and that is why Mayor Scott Moreno, in my personal opinion, um, is trying to reverse all of those. Is trying to revive the the say the glory that Manila has. Um, One thing that I do know, based on the little research that I did, is that he is really from the city of Manila. Of course, he grew up, he saw it all the things that definitely make Manila look bad. He saw it all. And then that is why, little by little, when he ran as a vice mayor, if I'm not mistaken, in different positions, um, in the country, uh, he already has that vision that someday, if I'll become a mayor, I would definitely be able to. I would definitely need to go back to all of these things that help my city be crippled, and I need to really correct this. Not just for the sake that Manila is our capital city, but also for other cities in the Philippines to replicate as well. All of all of the cities actually, look at Manila um, still as our capital city. Now, do we have one of the questions that may arise is, do we really have to change our capital city? In my personal opinion, I don't think so. All we have to do is definitely support the efforts that these government officials we have are currently doing. Now, let's move on to what's currently happening right now. Now, one of the things that I can probably point out is that would have been best if before all of these cleanup, all of these actions that Mayor Isko Moreno is currently doing, we're supposed to study it. We're supposed to example. I want to be as specific as possible. Example the vendors on the streets of Manila. Okay, we totally understand that these people definitely are already had already or has already gained a lot in terms of their business on the streets, which in effect definitely crippled as well the traffic system of the city. However, we cannot just simply shoo them away, all because we need to create the change hastily. I mean, would have been best, would have been better if we were able to we study it first, and we're able to, example, find a good relocation site that all of these vendors can, go to. We remember that all of these people, they have their own families as well to feed. And although there could be other stuff going on, within, I'm talking about, you know, um, the system that they have right there, but we're thinking about the family. We're talking about the people who are dependent as well on the little businesses that they have right there. So that was just one thing that I need to point out. Because it looks to me that we need to clean up the streets first, and then we'll just think about how we can transfer those vendors right after. Although I know for a fact that Mayor Isko Moreno is also thinking ahead, thinking about that ahead of time. But we receive reports, we receive feedback from different people, especially um, on the news, that there's no relocation site yet. So probably we can look into that as well. I want to speed up and move on to the last item. What do you think we have in the near future? Now, so long as we support our government officials, once again, there's only two things that might happen in Manila. Number one, Manila will revive its glorious days. Or number two, we may need to change our capital city. That's just it. We just have to select two. All right, so that wraps up our reaction, feedback, or no matter how you call it. I hope that you're able to listen to this. Once again, everything that we have here is just based on our personal opinion. Now, please consider to like and subscribe on our channel and comment down below for any of your reactions. And if you have any suggestions that we'd like to talk about next, please comment down below as well. Once again, thank you for listening right here at Hello Radio Philippines.